Let's talk about Bora then. Bora is designed for those who are learning to program, for those who are going to make their first deploys, whether it's a portfolio, a job at the university, a test for a job interview, or any other project. When creating a site on Bora, I can either choose a template or import a project from GitHub. It can be a project that uses any framework. In this case, we're going to use a portfolio template. On this screen, I can configure some things like the GitHub account where the repository will be created, the name of the repository, whether it's private or not, the environment variables. At this moment, Bora is deploying on edge computing. If this project has an API, it will be deployed on AWS Lambda. Now this project is already in the air, it's already uploaded. We can click directly here. Bora has a simple content edition integrated where I can make some changes right here on the page. I can put a little text here, create a link that points to somewhere. I can select it here to open a new window, send it to save. Up here I have the repository link that has just been created so I can view it here. Note that it was created a minute ago, and now, 10 seconds ago, there was an update to this file, so it already has 2 commits. It's an initial commit, and now it's a commit here made by the bot with these changes we just made. Bora is strongly integrated into GitHub, so it updates the URL here, it puts the environment here, and it mainly uses GitHub Actions, which is where the project is built, where the project is compiled to be deployed. Going back to Bora's panel, I can view how this site looks on other devices. I can also see it in a more realistic environment, how the site looks there. I think people usually like this effect a lot, it's really cool. Another cool thing here is that if I have more than one person here accessing this environment, let's say I have a colleague here who is working with me and is viewing this same site. We will see each other up there and see where each one is with the arrow. This is thanks to the LiveBlocks people who are an excellent product. Up here I have another link that is the link that leads to a Visual Studio Code web to simplify here also for the developer. In this case, we can see that this project has a very simple API. I can access this API here. I will open the site here and I will access the API bar. It will talk to this API it is returning here. Going back here on the panel, leaving the viewing mode, there are several more things like that. For example, the logs. So that console log that we just saw in the code, it appears here in real time. You can see here that it is in real time thanks to durable objects. Here in the settings, I can configure individually for each deploy. I can configure, for example, URLs. I can put an URL here, save. It changes the URL at the time. It is already deployed there with our changes. I can protect this environment with a password, for example. For now, with basic authentication, we are working here in other forms of authentication. I can put several passwords here. There is also the part of environment variables where I can configure, for example, the credentials of the database, some things like that. It is updating the site here. When it suffers a password change, there is a small delay here to update the environment. It has already updated. Ready, it is protected by password now. I can also use my own domains here. I can add a domain that I want, or to use a customized domain, manage the DNS part in here. We also love what is called dogfooding, which is to use our own products. I will show here how it works. Now, logging in as administrator, I can see that the board is a project inside the board itself. Here I have the other deploy environments, the preview deploys, which are the other branches, releases, or pull requests. Down here is the local host part, that is the environments that the other developers are running. I can click and view this environment. This is also thanks to the durable objects. I can open the board inside the board, make an inception here. It's a game we like to play to show. We have many plans for the future of the board. We are working on building a large community that becomes a showcase for developers. People have asked us, for example, for community templates. This is the board.